So, starting from here, who am I? Who are you? I've already said this. Understanding who I am is a lot about understanding where I'm coming from. So, I really wanted to go back all the way to my high school, to my guidance counselor, whose name was Tom Fujimura. One of the statements he always said to us when I was in high school was, "Your future is already started." A lot of people have a tendency to look way down the road thinking the future is something that will be attained over years and years and years. But your future is now. The things you do today impact what happens tomorrow, impacts what happens the day after that. So it's really important to us as educators to make you understand as students that you control so much of your life from here on out, and that really is important for you to realize that you've already started down a path. As I already said, Tom Fujimura was my guidance counselor, who's the one who said that. It wasn't something I thought of. He always said that we're traveling down a path, and that path is a thing of our choosing. We choose every bend, every turn, every outcome, every single day. And it's really important that you all understand that as students, that that's where I'm coming from, that it's really important to me that you all make the right decisions so that your future, which has already started, turns out as good as it can be. The last thing you want to do is look back 20 years from now and say, boy, I wish I had done that. I wish I had done that. Life can be filled with I wish I hads. All those things are controlled by you now. So, the kind of path you are on can only be decided by you, where you're going to go, what you're going to do with your life. And you make all those choices. Many of them are made, if not most of them are made, here at school by you every single day. So you decide where you go from here. We've been doing this E+R=O thing here at National Trail for a few years now. And I feel like although Dean Fujimura didn't know it, he was really ahead of his time, because that's really what he talked to us about as students all the time. Really? Gonna pop that out now? Go away. And he talked about how we control our own outcome and how we influence those things. And we know from our E+R=O training that means event plus response equal outcome. We can't control those events that happen to us every day. None of us can, right? We don't live in a bubble. We can't help the things that happen to us. All we can do is help how we respond to those things and thereby influence the overall outcome. I can't make something happen for you, but you can. I can give you opportunities, I can give you knowledge, as can all of your teachers and all of your classes. And that's what we want to do. But what you do with it, how you make your response to what you're being given impact your overall outcome. Where you graduate in your class? Do you graduate in your class? Where do you go after you graduate? What did you know before getting to that next job or college or the next opportunity? It's all defined in little tiny steps throughout our lives. We make daily choices. Did you do your homework? Did you take advantage of the help that teachers have given you? And many of you have never been to another school and don't know that something as simple as what we call intervention is something many students at other schools have no opportunity to do. There's no opportunity in many places and many schools to get any help outside of that one period that you see a teacher every other day. That is not true here. Most teachers here at National Trail, many of us stay after school. All of us are available during intervention. And the amount of extra attention that teachers here are willing to give you to help you succeed is incomparable with many other places. And if you've talked to students that have gone to other schools or been in other school districts, you hopefully will realize that there are a lot of opportunities here. Do you take advantage of those? That's totally up to you. I can't make you come. I kind of can't, but I won't usually make you come to my class during intervention. But I'd like you to if you've got a confusing point, if you don't understand something. Did you sleep last night? Did you stay up till midnight playing a game or texting or goofing around, whatever. Getting a good night's sleep every single day impacts the following day. If you go to bed at 3 in the morning and then get up at 6 to get here to school, you're not going to have a good day. You're not going to remember what you were taught. You're not going to have the right responses to things that go on. So I think that's really important, as well as eating. Make sure you get something for breakfast before you come in. I do not function well in the morning, and if you have me for first block, you may see me eating or having a cup of coffee while I'm teaching. That's normal. I'm trying to get myself going just like all the rest of you are in the morning, to make sure that we get things that we need and we can make the right decisions. You should make every decision knowing that it affects tomorrow. If we end up having school online again like we did in 1920 and 2019, 2020, not in 1920, how is that going to affect you if you let things get behind and behind and behind? There's a point where online learning can be great. It lets you do it at your own pace, your own time of day. If you want to start your lesson at 5 in the afternoon, that's up to you. I'm not going to email you back at midnight, but you can do your instruction then. It doesn't matter, right? You can do it at your schedule, in your place, in your room. That's great. But if we let ourselves get further and further and further behind, there becomes a point where it's the stress of that to you becomes insurmountable. So it's really important that you make those decisions today knowing that it affects who you are and what happens tomorrow. Make those choices that make tomorrow better than today. I know many of you, the last thing you want to do when you get up is get your homework done. Do your lesson, get whatever you've got over here in the back of your mind, things to do, that to-do list. Done. In my life, I've become the opposite now. I really want to-dos, I always say this, I want to-dos lists to be to-done lists, because there's so much more stress on my shoulders when I have a bunch of things to do than when I have a bunch of things that I already did. They're gone, they're in the past, there's no stress with that. So try to make those choices that help you out on a daily basis. I think it's important that you, as an individual, take the time to find out what's important to you. And I don't mean, existentially, maybe I do mean that a little bit. I don't mean, what kind of food you like. I mean to find your meaning in life and where you have your passion. Think about who you are and where you want to be and what you want to do. Most people don't think when they're 16, I didn't anyway, I want to be a dad. It never crossed my mind. I wanted to be a pilot. That's all I wanted to do when I was your age. And I made sure at some point that I put myself in a position to be able to make that happen. But I had to think about it. I laid on the hillside out in Wysong Road out in our field probably for hours looking up in the sky thinking about what do I want to do with my life. And you know what? We change a million times what we want to do. If you would have asked me 20 years ago, okay, that may be a little close, 30 years ago, if I was going to be a teacher, I didn't know if I was going to be a teacher. I knew that I felt like from the teachers I had in high school that I wanted to give something back. I didn't know I'd end up here. I'm happy I did. Very happy. So take some time to think about you, think about who you are and who you want to be down the road, because those decisions I make now impact the target, impact the road that I go on, how I get there. Think about who you want to be 10 years from now and try to find your meaning in life. What can you do now? Now you have to realize that the things you do impact you and everyone around you. We are not in goldfish bowls in our life. In the E+R=O, if you were here last year, we talked about our 20 square feet and how we impact that 20 square feet that's around us. But we also talked about, and we went out and did a chalk exercise out on the ground on how our 20 square feet impacts yours 20 square feet. You need to realize that every interaction we have affects all the people around us. And it's like a river, like a pond, there are ripple effects. If I come into work mad at somebody who cut me off on the drive into work, or I hit a deer, or something happened, and I take that out on the first person I see, I've just ruined their day. And they take it on the first person they see. And those ill will, poor feelings, bad responses affect all those around us. So the best we can do is try to realize that we affect those around us. Everything we do says something about who we are. All those things, none of us is perfect. We all have good days, we all have bad days. But if we're always trying to make every day a better day, if we're always trying to have a better response, if we're always trying to interact better with people, then eventually we get closer to that goal. And those things that we do say something about who we are. And all those moments added together impact where our life is going to go. You may have been born into, you may live in a situation that's completely different than the one I was born into. I grew up on a little tiny farm on Wysong Road. I went to high school with kids that were born into extreme wealth. Herman Wardley III, heir to the Frito-Lay Corporation, lived down the hall from me in high school. I was on a full-ride scholarship, and his parents were helping pay for new tennis courts. We all start in different places, but where we go is a determination of how hard we work, what we do with what we have. And we all have different assets, and we all learn different ways, and everyone can learn. So just realize that everything we do impacts our life and where we're going in the future. And I doubt anybody wants a worse life than where they started out. Almost everybody wants to improve on where they're at.